Back with more Haunting of Hill House. This is episode 5. Very excited to carry on, see what's going to happen next. Really enjoyed the show so far and the focus on all the individual characters, and the last episode in particular I really enjoyed the focus on Luke and getting a lot of insight into how he kind of ticks and everything surrounding that, him finding out about Nell at the end as well. Just such a brilliantly done kind of show so far in terms of the story and the characters, and I feel like this is going to be a big turning point now, because I think everyone who's still alive in the family does now know about Nell, and we've kind of gotten to know about everyone in that sense. And maybe we're going to delve into the parents a bit more, maybe we're going to delve into Nell a bit more. I don't really know what they're going to focus on next, but I do feel like we're going to get a lot of advancement going forward now, because a lot of the character setup has been done, and I think it's been done brilliantly, so I'm excited to see where things are going to go next. So let's get into the next one. Oh my god, I already hate it. Ugh.
Can I unlock you like that someday? You can hold on to it tonight, and when you're older...
I hope she has some with all the other kids. Don't leave. Second you do. She's in the corner of the room somewhere going... Ugh, I hate it.
Sleep paralysis is actually more common than you think, but it's completely harmless. Which is easy for the sleep tech to say, right?
Are you asking me if I want to get coffee?
It's for the health history section in your file.
Oh.
But also,
I'm
yes.
sorry.
No, don't be.
No, I really misread
I was
that.
planning on waiting until the end of your visit to ask you for coffee.
Yeah. Aww. This makes me sad. I'm glad she's not like alone when she has to go through these now.
I wouldn't get my hopes too high. Who knows if he'll be in any condition to.
Positive attitude, Stephen.
I hope he does.
Yeah, you could write about it then, couldn't you? Oh, that's nice. I like how patient he is with her, but I guess he does like understand the condition and everything, doesn't he? Oh my god, that's awful.
I know what's to blame.
Hill House.
Hill House.
Hell yeah.
Look at this one. Stars. I'm not opposed to have things that are fragile. And this looks fragile.
Like a neck?
No. Would you like to tell your sister what you did?
I didn't. But she says she didn't.
Uh-oh.
I didn't do it. I swear.
Then who did? I'm not gonna like the answer, am I? Ah, you could feel who did it. Well, that's nice.
I just need one more favor.
Why are we...
See that guy? That guy in the white hat over there?
Oh god.
I always believed you. And when we were kids and later when you saw what you said you saw, I believed you.
Fighting their demons together.
Collecting those buttons?
Oh god.
I mean, this event seems to have really upset you. Is there more to this story?
He needed
Yeah.
my help. Nellie, I don't want to... You said you... Hey! The fuck! Nellie!
Oh boy.
Anything? Jesus, no! Alright? I just want to know if he's still here. He's not. And that fucking sucks. And I know that. And I'm sorry, but you can't live like this.
She knows the strength of her power as well. It could really mess her up, I guess.
Does Shirley know what he made you do?
Surely not.
Like you're above taking money from family. Yeah, you really want to talk about what Shirley knows and doesn't know? What does that mean?
Oh.
To know. But don't lecture me about adulthood, Theo.
Oh
Not
wow.
from Shirley's fucking guest house.
Let's just calm down. I mean, after a fight like that, I'd say, oh, the gloves are coming off, but in this circumstance...
Have you or your siblings been back to Hill House since '92?
Look, I'm thrilled you guys came out for the reading today, but I'm really here to talk about Alcatraz.
Yes.
People are more interested in your life.
I'm not going to answer questions about my family.
I have a question. Oh my god, that's not great. I have a question, Steve. And you talk about ghosts and spirits. And you sell tickets for the privilege, and yet you don't believe in any of it.
No.
And you tell me I'm crazy, and that Mom was crazy, and Luke's crazy, and we're all just nuts. And then you tell
I figured that's why we didn't see much of, like,
my
young
stories, the same stories that you
Steven.
told me were just dreams.
You're certain you're taking your medication? Because, you know, this was never about...
I like how her and Luke are twins, and Luke heavily relies on a substance at times, but Nell's, like, avoiding it.
How can a house, just a collection of bricks, wood, and glass, have that much power over people?
It was fucking haunted, sir.
You've never been there.
If you were to look at it today, after all these years, empty in the woods, you'd find it's not a monster.
Oh no, she goes back and then she dies. Oh, she's got a mug with stars on it. It wasn't 3 minutes past the hour, so that's good.
We were in the Red Room having a tea party with Abigail and Mommy.
How? The Red Room's locked.
Abigail as well.
That wasn't Mommy.
Just gonna put 7 down. Oh, she still does it. It's funny that you just have to lie there, but I imagine that's really difficult to actually just physically hold yourself there like that. I imagine that was like exhausting to do. Oh. Oh, shit. Oh dear.
I found her.
Oh dear. What happened, man? Oh.
2 o'clock.
You hold on to this.
That's why she tapped it twice.
How are your brother and sisters doing?
She still has Arthur's name on her phone.
How are they doing?
Oh good. A classic horror trope. Oh, you... Oh, you... Oh. We've gone the whole episode with that jump scare as well. Jesus, you bastards.
I hope you're well, Lily.
She's not, and she's certainly not going to be soon.
You probably shouldn't have slept all day.
I don't think you were asleep. You're like in a trance. There's everything while we're going at night. Hell House. Sounds about right.
Are you okay?
3 times in the porch, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Come home now, as the wall said.
Where have you been?
Here I come.
What?
She's over here.
Oh God. Her mum's looking for her from the afterlife? Is she just hallucinating it all? I much prefer it like this.
We can't be late for the reception.
What is going on? This is her like imagining
Hi, gorgeous.
how she wished it could have gone on her wedding day. Aww. They're not going to be together again, but also this is horrible. Oh God.
We're going to have a tea party.
Ah, so that's Abigail, that's not Mum. See, just don't trust the spiral staircase, they're creepy. Oh god, it's the ropes. Like the Mum pointed out before. Oh god, the necklace is actually going to be the noose, isn't it?
It's time to wake up, sweetheart.
Jesus. It's her! Oh my god! All that, it was her the entire, oh my god. Okay, well, that was another amazing episode, well, amazing movie. Did not realise how long that episode was. I had to, I had to take a break about 10 minutes before the end, just before she like went into the house because my camera died. I didn't realise how long the episode was, but honestly it didn't feel like 70 minutes, so that is a huge kind of testament to how great this episode was. Not looking forward to editing it down, because my goodness, I need to literally get rid of an hour of footage, so that's going to be fun. But regardless, loved the focus on Nell, a bit of backstory about her, seeing a bit more of her interactions with everyone, her final few days, and how she was kind of haunted by this bent neck lady since she was 6 years old, trying to seek help and therapy and medication for it, going off of that, kind of, you know, falling out with a lot of her siblings as well, or at least like really pushing things with them, and then all that happens, and yeah, the hallucinations and everything at the end were just very kind of unsettling, and just that brutal ending. Still don't know exactly where the writing on the wall came from. We saw the mum kind of writing it there, but did Ghost Mum actually write it in real life? I'm not quite sure about that. But maybe it's just a weird spooky ghost thing. Who knows? I don't think they necessarily need to explain every single spooky thing. But yeah, that was quite something. I think it's testament to the writing and the actors that you so quickly get invested in them. Like, I really liked Nell and Arthur together. I really liked that pairing a lot, just seeing how they first interacted and everything, and the fact that because of how they met, Arthur understood what Nell was going through, and he was being really nice with her whenever it happened and talking her through those moments where she was like utterly terrified, and just the tragedy behind that. The bent neck lady seemingly killed him, but she was the bent neck lady. And they say it's an aneurysm, but you know, you can interpret it so many different ways. Maybe it really was just an aneurysm, maybe there is more to it, maybe there's... It's just, man. I can't believe it's her all that time. Like, the thought did cross my mind, like, oh, what if it's like her? But I was like, how's that going to work out? Because I was thinking, oh, maybe she dies and then, you know, the ghost of her is like the bent neck lady. But we'd seen Nell's ghost in episode 1, and I was like, well, it didn't really look like that, so it's probably not. So I was kind of thinking of other things, or I thought maybe it's just going to be a ghost that's just haunting her, or someone who lived in the house before they did. But no, it's her. That's insane and awful. Like that whole moment where she's like hallucinating, like her dream wedding, how she kind of really wished it could have gone with all her family there and her mum there, and just seeing, you know, her face when she saw her husband again, she saw her mum again, going back to the necklace and the fact that she wanted one just like it one day, but it was actually her like having the noose put around her, and the fact that she, you know, she didn't really commit suicide, it was just this awful accident that led to all that, and these hallucinations and stuff. It's just so awful and tragic, and what an awful poor life she had. It's just, oh my goodness. And she kind of became this thing that had haunted her entire life, basically. It was literally her all along. Like, you say you're your own worst enemy, like, Jesus Christ, that proves it. So that whole reveal I thought was done really, really well. The fact that she was kind of like, it was just shot well as well, and she was like, she'd stopped falling, but the way they'd shot it, like her travelling to all the different moments where the bent neck lady had appeared, it looked like she was still falling, and then like cutting to and fro, which I thought was quite clever. So yeah, that was insane. And then some of the stuff we were getting with the flashbacks, like the night with the dad kind of taking all the kids to the hotel, covered in blood the next morning, and it's still holding back a lot of detail of exactly what happened on that night, exactly how the mum died and everything. I feel like at some point we must be getting those answers, but I'm very intrigued by it. The dad seemed really like shaken by events when he came back, and Nell was the one who was awake. So yeah, I don't know if there's more to that than meets the eye, because we've already seen a few shots in previous episodes of like the mum being like flung against a wall, I think, and hitting her head. So is there something quite dodgy going on there? There's a lot, and the fact that he never really believed any of these kind of ghostly things, or he couldn't see them, and Stephen doesn't believe them either, and that led to now confronting him. I kind of liked her doing that, to be honest, just because I'm still salty about how Stephen behaved in the last episode. I thought he was a dick. And again, he took that situation and did kind of make it all about him. Yes, maybe it was, there could have been a better time and a place, but he would not have listened. He would have just shaken it off and not given her the time of day to say her piece if it hadn't been in that scenario in front of all those people that had come to see him. And even then, I think he's trying to hold on to this reality that people are there for him and not the story and the things that happened to him and his family. So I find that a lot more interesting than just a book about Alcatraz and how that's haunted. All the questions were about his family and his past in that sense. So I think deep down Stephen knows that, but he doesn't want to accept that because he's thrown away a lot of his life and a lot of relationships with his siblings for that book. So I think in his head he needs it to be worth it. Otherwise, how are you going to live with wrecking a lot of your ties to your family for, a quick buck in a book? So all of that was kind of crazy as well. Just seeing a few tense moments like that, and the scene with her and Theo when she was trying to get Theo to feel like the pillow and the floor and everything, and that led to a bit of a fight as well about who, adulthood and how that's kind of affecting them. Really interesting stuff, and I like how they kind of structured the episode using scenes we'd seen before already and then like adding to them or just reusing them to kind of get a sense of where in the timeline it all fits in, and then continually going back to Nell with like her therapist or her counsellor or whatever, to kind of break up the episode as well into sections and keep checking up with how she is, and she eventually stops taking her medication. Maybe a lot of that came from her interactions with Luke and seeing that he wanted one last dose before he went to rehab, and she kind of felt almost forced and tricked into that, kind of like how she was tricked into dying ultimately in the end. And that fear of what substances was doing to her brother could lead to her being like, well, I can't take these pills now, I can't take my medication now. And in turn that could become her fear of Luke dying or whatever, and she kind of saw that vision. How it all tied together I thought was done so well. And that's only going to continue because we still literally have half the show left to go yet, but my goodness, what a way to kind of mark the halfway point with a big focus on Nell, because she is kind of the central character in the show in many ways. While every episode so far has focused on something different for the most part, the centre of it all, at least the centre of the ending scenes mostly, has been Nell, because she does have this very deep tie not only to the family but to the house as well. She seemed to be one of the ones most affected by that. So I kind of like that right at the heart of the series with the halfway point. It was all about Nell and her story and showing exactly what happened to her when she died. So it's an awful, tragic thing, but what a reveal, and some really great performances in this one. Even the lesser characters like Arthur and stuff, I feel like were performed so well. I really got invested in them. I was really gutted when he died. And yeah, lingering mysteries still, and there's still a bit of confusion about exactly how this is all going and what on earth is going on and exactly what happened on that fateful night. But we did get a few answers in this one about exactly how Nell died and the bent neck lady and everything. So there are certain origins to some of these spirits and ghosts the kids are being haunted by. So is that the case for all of them? Are we going to get all of them explained? Or is it just like this personal connection that Nell ended up having to her own spirit that had been plaguing her most of her life? Maybe that's just an unfortunate one-off thing, and maybe Abigail is not like a direct tie to Luke or anything. It's not really about that. She's just like a spirit or whatever. So yeah, that was all really interesting and just brutally sad. What an awful life kind of Nell had to endure for the most part. And she had those peaceful few years, I guess, when she first met Arthur, and Bent Neck Lady hadn't kind of haunted her for a while, but even then that came back, but he was helping her through it, and then he died, and just the tragedy. And I thought in that final sequence when she was kind of like hallucinating everything, I was like, okay, well, this is going to lead to her hanging herself, maybe accidentally, maybe not, but because she's in this like hallucination, everything's perfect and all her family is there and her husband's there, I was like, well, maybe she doesn't know about it, you know, maybe she just has this hallucination, she dies and she doesn't know a thing, she doesn't know she was about to die or anything, she doesn't know she just hung herself. But then it snapped back and she was aware of it. Just that snap, oh god. Ugh. So I was like, oh, at least maybe she had some sort of peace in her final moments, but then brutal. Like, man, characters can't get a break on this show. I think that's kind of the thing here. But yeah, I feel like so much is out in the open and about all the siblings, so maybe we are going to focus more on the parents, maybe everyone's just going to come together now and get an equal amount of focus as the story continues, because I don't know, outside of exactly what happened to the mum and how she died, do we need any more flashbacks from now? Maybe to see how the mum and dad met, and if they, I don't know, how the mum's kind of sensitivity thing, and like her headaches and stuff, how that all came about, maybe we'll get that explained, but I feel like the majority of the flashbacks are probably done, unless they have a really clever way of continuing them, I'm not sure. But my goodness, what an amazing episode. That twist at the end is crazy. Felt so bad for Nell and just the whole tragedy behind it, but it was cool seeing a bit more of her relationship with Arthur, her relationship, sometimes strained, with all her siblings, and a bit with her dad at the end as well. And then some more flashbacks and teasers to what went down when the mum died as well. So I feel like we're getting a few answers, things are definitely tying together, but we still have half the season left to go yet, so another 5 episodes to really explore the after effects of all this. I feel like this was, you know, the first half of the book, all the setups there. Now, what on earth are they going to do? And I'm really excited to find out, because my goodness, the twists and turns and that jump scare when she dropped down, fuck that. We're doing so well without jump scares. But they do continue to balance like a really eerie, creepy feeling and like some more scary elements with more like light-hearted-ish-esque dramatic stuff, like non-scary stuff basically. But my goodness, what an amazing, amazing episode. I loved it. And we'll see where they take things with the rest of the episodes now. But my god, I am on board. I really am loving the show and what they're doing. I think it's some really lovely storytelling, and there are some bits I'm like, oh, how does that work? Where did that come from? How did that happen? But we still literally have another 5 episodes to go yet. So I'm more than willing to sit back and enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride is probably actually not the best phrase, because it will probably terrify me and be sad and awful. But regardless, this was a fantastic episode. This show is amazing, and I'm looking forward to catching the rest, and hopefully you're looking forward to my reactions to the rest as well. But stunning episode, really, really loved it, and until my next reaction, thanks for watching.